she's got something very unique. I've never seen her experience anything like this
I
before.
felt such a deep connection to knowing her soul.
I've been on my healing journey, as a lot of you know, for the past several years. It made me second guess and question everything
Somebody had told me that I see further than the Akashic records. I go into another kind of record.
and intense medicine ceremonies and different sessions with people.
Somehow in the sessions, I would start to channel a higher vibration of something else. I just couldn't grab what it was. How can we expand past the
Oh my
norm?
gosh, I just needed a shift of perspective. It blew my mind. Welcome, welcome. We have some really exciting, energy moving, and shifts that we have happening with the podcast. It was formerly the Her Story podcast. It has now evolved and shifted and expanded to Expand with Mel and Rain. And I'm going to tell you all about this expansion and shift and how this has come about. And we're just excited for those of you that have been following us. And I think you're going to be really excited about the new shifts that we have with this. So thank you for joining us today. If you guys are familiar, if you've seen a few episodes ago, we interviewed Rain Zabin, who's amazing. And if you heard that episode, I'm sure you loved it and you fell in love with her. And now you get to get a lot more of her and her beautiful wisdom and knowledge and her channeled energy. And we are going to be co creating together. And so I'm just going to share what this kind of means to me, like this expand. I've been talking a lot. I've been on my healing journey, as a lot of you know, for the past several years. And a lot of it has been just really intense. It's been really intense and it's been really heavy. And I felt like I'd be like, my head was underwater. And then I'd come up from air and I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing this thing. I'm getting better. This is working. It's paying off. All this deep healing and work that I've been doing in tears and anger and sadness and releasing all these emotions from my body. And then I'd be underwater again. And it's just like, gosh, dang it. Like, I thought I had this figured out. And I'm just riding the wave of this human experience. And what happened was I was referred to Rain to do a session with her about something that I've been carrying that was a story that I'd been telling myself for a very long time and caused me a lot of inner pain. And I was just seeing over and over again situations that proved to me basically this thing that, like, I don't matter. I don't matter. I'm back burner. Everyone else, things work out for them. Just all these things. It was just really negative energy that I was carrying and feeling, and just circumstances kept showing that over and over again. And I did this session with Rain, and it was so simple and gentle. And she just let me know in this loving, beautiful way, "No, sweetheart, you're lying to yourself. That's not true. In fact, you actually love this stuff that you are doing and creating." And I just wasn't able to see it. So, like, these blinders were on, and I was telling myself this story that was creating all of this inner pain and not realizing that, oh my gosh, I just needed a shift of perspective. And it shifted everything. And now that energy is completely gone. And again, I've been suffering with this for years, this story. And I was like, whoa, it blew my mind. And it made me second guess and question everything. This past 5 years of deep, intense healing that was through pain and intense medicine ceremonies and different sessions with people, it just brought up old traumas and pain and almost reliving it sometimes. And anyways, I just was like, oh, I guess pain has to be, like, working through stuff has to be very painful and dark and heavy. And then I had some sessions with her and it was so easy and effortless. And just like, I just ended feeling love for myself, self love, self acceptance. And it just changed everything. And I realized, oh my gosh, like, she's got something very unique. I've never seen her experience anything like this before from any human I've ever met. And I've been on the hunt and the search for a long time, trying a lot of different things. And I realized she is such a gift, a complete gift, just her being, her essence, her heart. She's gone through so much of her own experiences and hardships. And she's been able to really grow from it. And she's in the same place that I'm at, of just wanting to live in joy and play and fun and pleasure, and healing not to have to be so dark and heavy. And so me and her just really clicked and aligned, and we've been able to create this friendship after me doing these sessions with her. And I refer everybody to her. I'm like, she's the best of the best that I know of. Like, she's just incredible. Like, the way that she does it, it's like I just feel so much better after talking to her. It's like I feel peace, I feel self love, I feel self acceptance. and it's so effortless and easy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to share this gift of rain with everybody. And I'm like, okay, we need to team up together and create something together. So the name was perfect. When we had a conversation, I kept saying, I just want to expand in life. I want to expand. I want to fly. I don't want to be underwater and above water. I don't want to be just surviving, up and down from surviving. I don't want to do that anymore. And so now we're taking it to the next level, and we want to create something, one for us, because me and her want to play together and expand together. We're in that same energy field. And we know there's so many others that are feeling the same way, and they can't find those people, or they don't know how to do it. You know, we've met so many incredible healers that are so gifted, and they need people to play with. And that's who we want to play with and spend time with, is people that have done their work, that they're not into deep addictions or just in survival and are okay with that. We want anyone else that wants more, that wants to be in joy and pleasure and play and fun with us, while also making some massive shifts in their life. So, this is what we're creating right now. We are going to have different topics every single week. We're really excited about it. Um, but yeah, that's what expand means to me. And I want to ask Rain and let you guys see beautiful Rain and hear her voice, and ask her, Rain, one, welcome. Thank you for joining me on this podcast journey. This is the first of many beautiful creations together. And I just want to hear what this means to you and your journey, and let our beautiful viewers get to know you.
Oh, Mel. Thank you, love. That was just so amazing and mesmerizing. I loved hearing every word you said. And it was just beautiful. It was so true and vulnerable and easy to hear. You're wonderful. So, yeah, like Mel said, we met because um, she was my client, but now she's my friend. And so the energies were just amazing. I felt such a deep connection to knowing her soul. It's like I knew who she was, and I knew she was a very safe person to be around, because her energy was very, it was such a hugging energy. She has the kind of a very mothering energy, and it's not just like mothering as in just for children, but it's a very mothering kind of earthy energy. And I think it's been forever that I've actually wanted to taste her kind of energy. And I know it sounds really weird to say taste energy, but it is the texture. There's a texture to it, and it's a I've got your back texture. Like, I don't care who you are, what you do, what you're going through, I'm gonna care for you. And that was her fabulous energy. And we just clicked and we started to talk, and it felt like we had, we were both like more bubbly in nature and more joyful in nature. And yes, life has pulled us down, both of us, and life has anchored us into darker spaces, but it's like the essence was more joy based. The essence was constantly in search of, like, how can we have more fun? How can life be more exciting? And so the experience of Mel in my world was magical. And then life just, like, I think from the first moment I got hold of her, I knew that we would work together. I didn't even know how that was going to be. I had no idea. All I said is, I know that we are going to work together. It was like, I've looked for a partner. I haven't really actually went out and looked, but internally I've been searching for a partner that I can resonate and feel safe with in partnership, because that's a very dangerous line, right? And I've been hurt before with partners, whether it's a partner, like a love partner or a friendship partner or a work partner. And so it had been like, God knows how many years since I even thought about it. But inside, I had this deep thing like, I want a partner that is safe to be with, that is, we can collaborate together, that there isn't one trying to take over and the other. There's nothing there. It's just simple and easy. And that's kind of what happened when I met Mel. I just had a knowing that everything in the universe collaborated. Yes, I maybe have wished it over 10 years ago, but everything in the universe was collaborating for this moment in time. And so when the idea of podcast came on, it was like, what? This is what we're actually, and it was just actually really exciting. And kind of, when your manifestation comes to life, you kind of you're really happy, but you were kind of nervous because you're like, it's happening, is it? And so this is the kind of feeling I personally had. And then we decided on expand, and Mel shared with you how expand came about. And what we're actually planning on doing is how can we expand past the norm? So what I've been seeing for a few years, so let me just explain a little bit. I channel, and I don't even like to call it channeling because it doesn't look like channeling, but for some odd reason, I receive information. So when you're speaking, somebody's asking a question, somebody's just standing in front of me, I start to see things different. Even if I'm reading a book, I will read what is read, but then I will hear what the author didn't put in, or the insights the author. I will hear something more than just the book. And and that's just, I thought everyone was like that, of course, but that's how it's done for me. And so somebody had told me that I see further than the Akashic records. I go into another kind of record. So I don't really know. I don't even care to know. I search my whole life, and it's exhausting to try to figure out what is it that I do and how do I do it? And let me look for all the people who might do something similar to figure out how it is that I do it so that I can finally trust that this is what I do. Right. That was the journey. And it was so exhausting. And so I'm like, I don't care what it is that I do. This is how I can explain it. So I let people speak so I can hear their truth and see their gifts and see how far they are from their gifts or their essence. And so in expanding, what recently has been happening, or let's say for the past 5 years, I started itching inside. I'm like, because I, as a healer, or so I used to call myself, would be healing others and then healing myself all the time. And since the age of, say, maybe 17 or 18, I've been in this journey, reading as much about it, going into energies, doing this, studying Reiki, being a master. Like, it wasn't my career, but it was just the thing, right? All the time. And so after sitting with it a few years ago, like five years ago, I was like, there's something awfully wrong. That this is exactly what I'm still doing. I'm still digging up, trying to figure out what's going on, right? I'm still trying to figure out, is it ancestral? Is it a past life? Is it my higher self? Is it my lower self? Is it entities in the outside world? Is it because I'm half Egyptian, half Palestinian, so through the bloodline? Is it because of the pyramids? Is it the Orion stars? Seed? Am I that? And I gathered all this information throughout my life. So I've got so much information inside of me. It's crazy. Yeah, you can ask me anything and something will show up, right? Because since I was 18. So I was like, this can't be it. It can't be it. And I was starting to notice my clients would feel really great and they would go off, but I would offer them something that I couldn't offer me. Somehow in the sessions, I would start to channel the higher vibration of something else. I just couldn't grab what it was until I think my guides, my higher self started to suffocate me from healing. I started to get really frustrated by it, right? I started to feel hopeless and helpless personally. I was like, let me look into what is happening. Because when I would channel for people, I don't even remember what I'm telling them. To only discover later on, I was also talking to me. So everyone who shows up for me is for them, but I'm also talking to me. I have to record them to rehear them. And when I hear them, something then shifts within me. So I was like, wait a minute. None of the things that I'm helping people with, for as long as I remember, sounds like what the spiritual world keeps teaching. So I was like, and I'm going with what the spiritual world is teaching. So I was suffocating as I was helping free people. I was suffocating. And then there was something wrong in the energies. So I sat and I said, I'm done with healing. I crossed it out. I'm like, not doing this anymore. I'm not going to heal me. There's nothing to heal. Um, and if I don't like who I am, then that's my problem. And it's not something I need to fix. I just need to figure out, why don't I like me? Why don't I like me enough? You know, that I keep digging in the healing world to try to fix something in me, right? So if I'm trying to heal myself, means there are parts of me I still don't like. I find something wrong with me here, something wrong with me there. And that was the furthest thing away from self-love, furthest thing away from trusting myself, furthest thing away from that. And then I thought, but the more I want to heal, the further away I am from being nice to me, being kind to me, appreciating me, noticing my limiting beliefs and being okay with them instead of trying to banish them. Because we all have this idea of once we're healed, we're going to feel so much better. There's this utopic idea of who I will be in the future of me that I'm heading towards constantly. And every time I notice I'm not that future me, that means there's still healing to do. That means there's something broken. That means I haven't loved myself enough. And even self-love has become completely insane the way people are striving for it in such a crazy way, because it means something. If I can self-love myself, then people won't hurt me. I will feel better. There's something, there's a dogma, there's a program there with self-love. And it's gotten so out of whack. So anything in the 3D, which I love to call the program, that becomes the lingo, know that it's gotten so heavy energetically and has been bought into the program instead of the lightness it used to be. So healing myself has become heavy because now it's become part of a hierarchy, right? If I do this, then I become this. And when I become this, then I become this. You're always never becoming. You're always losing you in the process. And what does it look like? It basically means that you have a language inside where you're always putting yourself down instead of noticing the things you have shifted into or the things you have become. You are putting a lot more effort in. Okay, so I worked this out. Let me dig in. What's the next thing? Why am I still feeling sad? Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm still sad. Where is that? Is it my grandma, my grandpa? Is it my childhood, my timeline? Is it my inner child, my outer child? Oh my God, could it be ancestral? And it doesn't end, right? And you go to all the modalities to try to figure out, why am I still sad? I've worked for 10 years not to feel sad. And you're still feeling sad. To only discover that you're allowed to feel sad. And you can feel sad, and you have to feel sad. Because if you didn't, you'd be dead, right? Because that's the end of your human form, right? And it isn't to conquer sadness, to walk away from sadness, to get rid of sadness, to be happy. But it's basically to accept sadness, to allow sadness to exist, for sadness itself to be loved by your higher self. So every emotion, it's as if you are, oh, I'm getting the crazy goosebumps. Okay, so this is new information that's about to come through when I get the goosebumps. So it's as if you are cradling, it's as if these emotions have existed on the plane of this planet for years, for centuries, for decades, for millennia. They've lived on this planet and they've never been appreciated or accepted. They've never been looked at as something good. They've always been deemed bad. They've always been punished. They've always been put in a corner or beat up or humiliated or shamed. And it's as if this moment in time when these emotions are arising, what we need to really, really do is actually show them what love feels like. Let them be seen. Let them be heard. Let them be hugged. Let them be cradled. Because they've never known what that looks like, because they have always been, not always, I don't think they were looked at in the Stone Age like that, but because I was accustomed to say always at this moment. So most of as we evolved into using our mental mind, these emotions had been deemed bad, but they were just emotions. They didn't have a title. They were just another emotion. You know, I stubbed my toe. Ouch. Right? It's like saying ouch is something bad. Don't you ever say ouch. And if you say ouch again and you get like humiliated and shamed, is the same thing. But we said ouch is okay because it's momentary and people get over it. But if you're sad, it lasts really long. And if you're unhappy, that lasts also long. So the things that last long and we don't know how to solve and cause problem in society, we're going to say this is wrong. So just imagine all these emotions floating around in pockets of energy in your body and in the world you live in. Till today, in the spiritual healing world, you're trying to get rid of. You still deem it wrong to feel sad or depressed or angry or humiliated or frustrated, when all of them are just emotions that we have attached language to. We have given an identity to them. Now, if we remove that identity and just say it's just an emotion, it too is allowed to actually exist like happiness. But now what we do with happiness is we pursue it so much. So now happiness is like, what is it called when like you're in pursuit of someone all the time and now they're feeling stalked, right? So when you're feeling stalked by someone, you're terrified. Now you're like, I don't want to be near them. And you're like, no, I want happiness to be my, right? And we're all like, let's be happy. And happiness is like, oh, Terry, I'm Terry. Right? So we need a different way of balance. We need a different way of doing something in our lives. And this is what, for me personally, expand what me and Mel want to bring to life, you know, bring to people's awareness the language, the use of words, the shifting of these certain words, like looking at them for truth and changing them. So for me, when I say instead of healing, I use it as least as possible. I use it with people because when they don't understand anyway, and I'm not like we're never going to use healing, but I use it, and it's in a way, it's like for me, instead of using healing, I would rather use the word self-discover. So when I'm feeling an emotion, and I instead of, oh my God, I have to heal this means I fix it. Oh my God, I want to discover what this is. You know, what does it want to be hugged? Does it want to be loved? Is what is it that this needs right now? What do I need? So it's self-discovery. And in self-discovery, I can't hear any language linked to it right now. All I hear is it's joyful because it's discovery. You know, let's discover how to cook this cake. Let's discover how to travel from here to Orlando. Discovery is always you're about to find something wonderful, right? So if I'm self discovering, it's really a very optimistic state. I'm about to open something wonderful, right? So it's very different than I'm healing, right? So that's what I'm hoping we can do together. What do you think? What do you think, Mel?
I I love it. I'm so excited. And hearing you channel the energy and the gifts and the every word out of your mouth is just it just feels like truth. It just feels like truth to me. And yeah, we have a lot of fun ideas that we're excited about doing, and we want you guys to get involved with on social media. We have some fun ideas to help this be more interactive. And again, we really do for Rain to truly be able to have her gift shine. She needs questions. So therefore, those of you that are listening to this, we want to hear your questions. So think about what's going on in your life right now. What are some struggles that you're having? What are some areas in your life that you're like, I would love to see if there's a better way, and I just can't quite figure it out? It could be something with your spouse, it could be something with your kids, it could be with friends, it could be anything. So if you have teenager kids or little kids and you find yourself in the same loop, um, that's my issue. Sometimes I find myself, I feel like a dog chasing my tail in circles and circles, and I just can't figure out how to get out of it. The same frustrating argument with a spouse that I just can't get over. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like my brain can't compute another way. Um, but Rain has these gifts to let you know to see things that you're just like, gosh, and it's so easy. It's like, well, that's easy. How did I not see that before? Know that this option. So it's really cool. So we want you all to share your questions with us, and you can either do it. This is what we're thinking. We want to get your guys' feedback on this. So we can either have you put, like, if it's anonymous question, if you're like, I don't want people to know that it's me asking it, but I want the question, you know, I want you to ask the question and answer it, and then I'll go and listen to the episode. Or if you feel like it's something that you're like, oh gosh, this is something I would love to be on the podcast, we can get you on wherever you're at, and you can ask the questions yourself, and then she can channel the energy, and then you'll have more time to ask follow-up questions, and we can really dive in and sit with it and just keep talking about it, basically like a free session with Rain, which is kind of amazing. um and then
And it would be
yeah,
cool, Mel. It would be cool if like uh, it's it's like it's an interactive session where other people, because people always worry that, oh, my question is stupid or nobody else, just knowing that everybody has your question.
yeah, yeah, I love it. So you guys can, yeah, comment and let us know if you're like, I have this question, I want anonymous, or I would love to be on the podcast and be able to do this. And just know, yeah, any of your questions, we're all human. We're all going through the same thing. We're all connected. Um, there's a lot of other people that have your same question. So let's start, connecting together and not have this just be a passive thing where you're just watching. We don't want to just think about like, oh, what do people want to hear? And then we just ask that. We really want it to be interactive. So we want to hear your questions. Um, so put in the comments at the end of this session right here if you're seeing on Spotify or YouTube or our socials. And make sure you follow us on it's Expand with Mel and Rain. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the places. And we're going to do some fun things on socials too, some interactive things to get you guys like expanding with us. We're going to challenge ourselves to do different things. Like it's just, we have a lot of fun ideas. We're not going to share those with you yet. They're still in the works, but we have some exciting ideas. So you'll have to follow us to find out what they are. And let us know what fun things you want to do too. Like, let's be in this journey together. And those that want to have fun and, like she said, just want to get more out of life and not just be deep in this heavy, dark place. Like there's so much healing and medicine in joy and pleasure and play. And I think so much of us have been neglecting that. But honestly, if you think about it, what's better than that? Like, think about it. If each person was truly to tap in to what lights them up, what fuels them with joy and passion and happiness, and were to go and create in that space, do you think that person is going to be spending time trolling through Facebook and doing negative comments to people? That's not those people. So if we can get more people to truly join us, follow us, ride with us, and us figure this out together, what I feel like is evolution, it's new. I don't know. I can't even point out any other people that are doing something like this that truly want to expand in this way. And we're so ready for it. And I don't want it to just be me and Rain, although I love her. And if it's me and her, that's fine. But we want to include, we're very inclusive. We want it to be an open space for anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter where you are, what country, what race, what anything, what religion. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This is a safe space. This is a very safe space. It's a loving, accepting space that includes everyone. And we want you to become our friends too, worldwide. And eventually I could see us getting a space somewhere and we create some get together that we do. But right now we're going to start virtually in the comfort of our home. It doesn't cost anything. So, yeah, just follow us. And please, to help us grow, if you could just actually comments help. That helps the algorithm. So if you can comment anything, even just a heart or a question, we want your questions to be on the episodes. And um, and then subscribe. Just help us grow that way would be fantastic. So, Rain, is there anything else that you want to share before we end this episode?
Oh, yes, definitely. We want
Okay.
to ask them a question. We want to make sure that they can actually be part of this. And I'd love to ask them, how has your healing journey looked like for you? What were the emotions that have been tied? And what is the reason behind your healing journey? Like, if you can answer that question, that would be amazing. And please share it because you sharing really helps other people feel safer to share their truth. So if you're one of the braver ones who can share vulnerability, allow yourself to do that so that others can actually also share. So just simply share, like, how has your healing journey looked like? And what are you actually looking to become? What are you healing? That's the true question. Why are you healing? So just ask that. And we wanted to also make sure that you know that the purpose behind all this is so that you can start making peace with yourself because it's an exhausting journey, right, Mel? It's an
Yeah,
exhausting
it is.
journey to be at war,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
At war with who you are. But I saw you do something wonderful, so I got my something wonderful. You have a I notice that you get your dog whenever like you're in the zone and you start to pet your dog. Where is he?
Oh, she went over there. My other dog was
She
barking, so I shut the door.
left.
My cute
Yeah.
little Leia. I love her. She's the cutest.
Okay. Well, I got, when I saw you do that, I went and got Charlie. So
Oh,
I was going to show Charlie. This is Charlie.
oh, our
Yeah.
precious fur babies that bring us so much
Yeah.
love and joy, unconditional love from these animals.
Why don't you get Leia?
Yeah, what are you doing? She's right over there. Um, but yeah, so we just want to let you guys know. Um, So our next episode, we are talking about holding space. So specifically for those that are good space holders and hold space for those around them and don't feel like they're getting that in return. We want to talk about that the next episode and have Rain channel her energy and ask a lot of questions about that. What do you do when people don't validate you? They don't listen to you. And that's hurtful and it's painful. And to give and give and give and feel like other people aren't giving when you need it. For people to hold you in your pain and your sadness, there's nothing better than that. And the truth is, some people are really good and natural at it, and some people are not. So, this one is something that I am very working on right now or going through. And so, I'm really excited for the next week's episode for Rain to channel that energy and us to have a really great conversation about it. And I know I'm not the only one that is really excited about this and would love to have more information on this. So, thank you all for listening today, and we are so excited to see you next week. And again, follow, like, make your comments, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.